Welcome back, my enlightened ones. Great to see you guys. Great to have you here. It's going to be a fun night. So, how is everybody tonight? Thanks for stumbling along my channel. And if you're new here and those that are returning, I love you. So this is going to be a fun night. I'm going to teach you basically the basics on candle scrying in water. We're going to be dripping wax actually into the water. So I just want to say hi to a few people here. We have Natalie and Shane and Julie and Penny. I do believe Carrie's in here as well, and Adam. Hello. So I'm actually working off my computer's here, but my screen is here, so I'm trying to get used to looking this way. So forgive me if I go back and forth. So how is everybody tonight? Boy, that's kind of blurry. Why is that so blurry? My internet's crap tonight because it is storming out, so forgive. Can everybody hear me okay? Hear me speaking? So, just to give you a little rundown here. So what I'm going to be doing is we're going to be scrying in this bowl over here with my hands. So anyway, we're going to be water scrying in here, but I'm going to show you the proper ways of cleansing your things before you actually use them, because you want the best results to get out of this. So I'm going to pull that camera back out again and jump back over and just say hi to everybody. So just want to say Mom's doing wonderful, and thank you for all your prayers and your love and your light. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Storms are awesome. Yes, I've actually had some little fairy folk buzzing around me too. So do keep your eye out for that. Here, I'll go a little brighter because that usually helps too, so you can see them. So I'm actually have my puppy over here right in my lap here. I don't know if you can see him. He's down here. He's missed me. I've been away, so he's been a little sad. But Mom's back now. So anyway, there's my puppy. So so this is going to be a fun time tonight. Thank you, Julie, so much. Sarah's home. I've been waiting for her to get home. She should be jumping on soon. So forgive me if you hear dogs barking in the background for a moment. So scrying. What is scrying all about? So I'm going to jump over here. So like I said, I've been doing this for about 30 years. I like candle scrying, and I'm going to tell you why. Because candle scrying, you can do it daytime, you can do it nighttime. There's no set time or right time to do it or not to do it. So, and it's a pretty simple procedure. Again, I have the dogs barking, and now I'm going to probably lose my Sebastian. No barkings. No barkings. Can you say hi? Look. Can you say hi? Hello. So anyway, this is my puppy. This is my buddy. He's my healing puppy. He's actually my service dog, believe it or not. So I service him every time he poops on the floor. So Shane, can you come and grab him? Because I think the kids are home, right? Anywho, so nobody's listening to me. Okay. So I'm going to get off on this scrying thing here. So thank you, everybody, for your prayers and everything. And thank you for being here tonight. And this is going to be a lot of fun. Thank you. Did you want to go out? Want to go, Shane? Are the kids home? Yeah, okay. So Sarah's home. So like I said, they might. Okay, just leave him then.
Just
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to rock. So I'm just going to roll. Okay. So what is scrying? I just saw an orb over here, if you paid attention. So anyway, I do have little zippy zoos going around again. What is scrying? Okay. Let's do this one. Scrying is the act of staring into something. I gotta look over here. Sorry. Staring into something, often a shiny or reflective surface, but not always. And I want to say not always because you can scry looking into the fire. That's not a reflective surface. So there's other ways of scrying. These are just, usually it is a reflective surface, such as a scrying mirror. And that will be a class. We're going to make a scrying mirror together. So that will be an upcoming class. So that's going to be fun. So you can scry with reflective surfaces such as a crystal ball, such as water. Nostradamus was known for scrying in water, and that's where he saw all his visions, is through water. So water's a gateway, like I said, so it's really cool. The other thing I like about this, what we're doing tonight too, it's also going to incorporate a little of the candle magic too, that I'm going to teach you one little thing that's kind of extra special to do. Shane, can you hear me? Can you bring me in the lance pins that are sitting on the table in the living room, please? Sorry, unorganized. I just got home a little while ago. I've been taking care of my mom all day long, and she's fantastic. So anyway, so scrying is an ancient divination technique in magic where the scryer gazes into a reflective surface or object, as I said, to receive symbols and guidance of images. Thank you so kindly. From the spirit realm. I just want to teach you a little extra thing on candle magic here. So, candle scrying is the ancient divination technique in magic where the scryer gazes into reflective or object surfaces, seeing symbols, guidance, images, and spirit realm. Jeez, I just said that. Okay, so Sarah just got home. Hi, Sarah. All right. There are numerous techniques and methods available for use in scrying today. Candle wax scrying is one of the easiest techniques. I like it. It's not very messy. You can scry other ways with candles. As I said, you can actually gaze into the fire itself and use that as a form of scrying. Another way is actually burning the candle and watch how the wax kind of goes down the side and rolls down the side. So what the first thing we want to do is you want to set your intent to ask a question. So think about your question, and we'll get into the procedures as we go through this. So the biggest thing is we're trying to get clarity on a question that we may have rattling around in our heads. So anyway, we all have higher guides, or your what I call Christ consciousness self. That's your perfect self. You are in another dimension, and you actually give direction to your whoops, something just shot up. So you actually give direction to your physical body, okay, to what I call the hologram, okay, because this is your hologram. It reflects how your soul is. If your soul is happy, go lucky, and full of life, it reflects in your body, and you know this. And when you're sad and depressed, when your soul's not happy or feeling oppressed, it reflects in your body as well. So anyway, okay, so we're going to move on to this one. Here we go. One of the simplest methods of scrying in candle scrying is to sit in a dimly lit room with the appropriate colored candle, and we'll discuss that in a minute. Sit still and take time to center yourself by deep breathing, relaxing and setting your mind free from any thoughts of the day. Okay. So that's very important, to center yourself. We're so in that autopilot rushing through our lives. We don't take that moment to center yourself. Call all your energy back to you that you've scattered about at the coffee shop, at the school, at the work, at the whatever. Pull that energy back into you. We leave it laying on the floor everywhere. We forget to call it back. And at the end of the day, we're exhausted. So try to be mindful and not being in that autopilot all the time. So that's just good advice. Okay. So as I said, numerous ways. Candle wax scrying is one of the easiest techniques. As I said, that's one of my favorite ways of doing it. Visions and images of wax are then interpreted intuitively by the individual doing the scrying. That's why it's important to center yourself as well, because you're connecting to the universe is what you're doing, and that's where the information's coming from, is from the universe or other dimensions. Okay. Candle wax scrying is the easiest form. Candle magic colors, I will explain them in a second. Explain candle wax scrying, combination of using a crystal ball. All right, so candle wax scrying is a combination basically of using a crystal ball, okay, water scrying, as well as tarot reading, because you're reading the images in the water, which is kind of a form of tarot. So it's kind of cool because you're combining three aspects into one by doing this candle wax scrying. Okay. So let's see here. Candle wax scrying is a sort of divination, as I said. So now we're going to go into our colored candles. Now, if you remember from our candle magic class 101, these are the candles. So if you have a certain question, say if you have a question about health, I would go with the green candle, which is what we're going with tonight, because As I said, the green candle. I've also dressed this candle in another in the candle magic 101 class as well. So this candle also has extra energy in it that I've added to it. So if you're interested, also too, money would be green. If you're interested in banishing and getting things that are negative out of your life, you'd want to do a black candle for this. Again, blue candle is communication, traveling, inspiration, calm, creativity, forgiveness. So if you've had a fight with somebody and you want to forgive them or find the energy to forgive them, this is a proper candle to use for that. So white is, again, is spirituality, peace, higher self, purity, and it's a substitution. And what I mean by a substitution is if you don't have the color candle you want, just grab a white candle and guess what? Through intent, you're now black. Okay, you put that intent into the candle and into your desire into that candle, and you can actually change it. Just as a quartz crystal, a beautiful quartz crystal. I got all my babies next to me. So as a beautiful quartz crystal, there we go. You can use that for any crystal. So if you're missing a certain crystal for a spell work or a ritual or something, you can substitute quartz crystal, and with intent, you get the power. Okay, so that's that. So back to our colored candles. So that's the substitution. Then we have the brown, which is home protection, animals. So say if you had an animal that was sick, I'd possibly use the green candle, but you can combine. You can actually combine candles if you wanted to. You can actually do 2 candles dripping in the water. There's no wrong or right way to do it. I'm going to show you my way of doing it, and I'm not saying it's the right way, but it's the way that I do things, and it's worked great for me. So why not share a little bit of that knowledge? So pink would be romantic and love. So this would be a great one for Valentine's Day. Emotional healing, friendship, caring, nurturing, and self-love. Yellow, intelligence, learning, reason, focus, memory, joy, comfort, and hope. We discussed blue. Silver is the moon magic. So this is the one I use when I'm doing my dark magic. And remember, dark magic is not bad. Dark magic is magic I only can do at night. Okay. So intuition, oh my God, dreams for God, I can't. Femininity, the moon, of course, and of course, psychic abilities. This helps enhance your psychic abilities. Black, we discussed. Red, vital energy, strength, passion, courage, fast action, lust, and charisma. Orange would be business success. This is also, orange is new for new beginnings, by the way. Opportunity, celebration, and ambition. Green, as I discussed, can be for health, nature, but it's also for money, believe it or not. You would use actually mint, the herb mint, to go with this if you wanted to really enhance it. Purple, influence, psychic abilities, wisdom, authority, hidden knowledge, and gold, of course, is wealth, masculinity, luck, power, happiness, and the sun. So depending what your particular question is and what you're inquiring about, you would want to try to grab the right colored candle to match that intent of your wish. But again, of the question, but again, you can use white and you can substitute. So that there's always substitution. So that's awesome to know that. So I'm going to just jump over to chat real quick because I'm just a jabbering away. Is there a rainbow candle to have everything? You actually can use a rainbow candle. Absolutely. And the other thing I wanted to show you guys, and this is a really cool trick. Remember how we dressed our candles, and I'm using this for a specific ritual? This is an awful big candle. I don't want to waste this entire candle, and I don't want to, and it's already been used for that ritual. I'm going to show you a trick. So what you do is you take a pin, okay, stick it in the candle, okay, at this length or whatever length you feel that you want to burn for that certain ritual. You dress the candle for the intent of the ritual from the pin up. This is brilliant, guys. This is going to save you a lot of candle here. And what you do is by putting your intent into a certain ritual and you dress that part of the candle, you burn the candle down to the pin, and the pin will fall out onto the plate, and that will tell you that you've gone to your point. So it won't hurt the pin at all, but the pin will actually fall to the plate and let you know, and you'll hear the clink of it, and it will let you know, okay, that spell is done. So now, so say I've burnt this part of the candle, so now I would go again. I would use this part of the candle for another ritual or another spell and dress that part of the candle, and again, clink, my pin would fall out onto the plate. That's why I wanted my lenses. But that's a really cool trick. So it saves you from wasting an entire candle because you put all your intent into that, and you can either try to mute the candle, you can actually try to pull the energy out of it. But why, when you can just not waste your energy and just do it through segments? That's what the 7 knob candle, and I've shown you pictures of the 7 knob candle. It's a candle that's got 7 knobs on it, and you burn one knob for a certain intent without having to use pins. But it's kind of the same thing. But if you don't want to go out and spend the money on a 7 knob candle, the easiest way is, like I said, stick pins in your candle and just dress that area from the pin up. So that's a really cool idea to do there. Okay. Setting the atmosphere. Okay. So Sarah Sinister's here. Hello, my daughter. Glad you got home safely. And Chris just stepped in. Hello, Chris. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And Penny's here, and Adam, and let's see here, Natalie, which is Whispers in the Darkness, and Shanunu's here, and Carrie's in here, and Penny, and Julie, and I think I got everybody. Oh, Jasmine's here. Yay, Jazz. It's not a party unless Jasmine's here. Okay, I'm going to jump back over to the class. Glad you guys all can make it. Thank you so much. So, number 7, setting the atmosphere. Think of wax scrying as a combination of crystal ball, as I said, water scrying, and reading tarot. So it's the combination of the three together as one. It has the aspects of all those while also using the physical elements of earth, air, fire, water. Scrying is using any reflective surface to help one see and receive messages. But as I said, guys, it's not any reflective surface, because you can fire gaze. There's other ways you can do it without it being just a reflective surface. So that's good to know. Okay. Setting the atmosphere. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, here we go. You want or should create a sacred space, performing at your altar or setting up a sacred circle, or smudge your room of choice with sage or aura spray. I actually have my holy water with me tonight, guys. Ooh, holy water. Even prayer can cleanse a space. Our Father who art in heaven, whatever prayer you wish to say. I banish all negativity from this room. You're not welcome here. Only love and light is welcome in this room. It's intent. Again, intent. Okay. So you can also scry outside in the beautiful snowy weather, and where you feel most comfortable. It is about being centered and relaxed. Scrying can be done anytime, as I said, day or night. So it is very convenient for the practitioner. Okay. Setting the mood. You got to set the mood before you kiss the girl. Sorry, I can't help myself. All right, saying goodbye. Please pinch and snuff off the candle. This is a very good one at ending your sessions. Okay, guys, when you're ready to end your scrying session, take a few moments to just relax, looking away from the flame. And the reason why I say look away from the flame is you're breaking that contact. You're cutting that cord from the flame by doing that. So that's why I suggest actually doing that. Here we go. Okay. So, looking away from the flame for a moment, thank the spirits for communing with you, being thankful as you pull your energy back to you. State out loud, I end this session. Please go in love and peace. Blessed be. Extinguish the candle with the candle snuff or with your fingers. I prefer my fingers and my spit because that seals the candle and it holds the magic in the candle. Okay, so that's my way of doing things. You can blow the candle out if you wish, but personally, I don't like to blow because blowing, you're blowing the magic away. And the only exception to the rule of that is happy birthday to you, because you're putting your wish out there and then you're blowing and you're sending that wish off into another dimension. So But that's just, I'm not saying it's not right. I'm just saying that's cat's way. All right. Be sure to review your notes. So you do want a notepad with you when we are doing this. Keeping a tablet, and do know that sometimes you may get messages that don't make a damn bit of sense to your question that you asked, but please still write it and put it down, because you may be getting answers for something that's coming up cognitively in the future. It's coming to you. So I had a dream. I'll give you an example. I had a dream. I walked into a room and it was filled with snakes in cages, and eggs were everywhere, and baby snakes were everywhere, and there was mice everywhere. And I didn't know what this dream was about. And I actually just wrote it away in my book. And about 6 months later, I met my best friend, Tina. You know her. She's our medium. I met her about 20 years ago. And when she invited me to her house, I walked in the door and there were snakes and mice everywhere. Her boyfriend at the time was actually a breeder of snakes and was feeding them the mice, of course. So then it just kind of click. Now it makes sense. So do keep your notes, even if they seem so insignificant. Do keep them, because it may come and lead up to something more important in the future. So, review. If you scribe regularly, get in the habit of comparing notes from one session to the next. That's kind of important too, to see if there are messages or images that may appear very often. You may have similar images that appear. I'm going to tell you what my question is tonight, so it's kind of a cool one. Do not become discouraged if you do not see or gain the knowledge of what you are seeking. And this is important. And these are my words from an automatic writing coming through right now. This is what I was told. The universe has perfect timing, and questions may take longer to answer because maybe you are meant to seek further into a problem beyond scrying of art of candle wax. Okay, so by getting your messages in the candle wax, it might prevent you from looking further into what you need to find. Seeing an image in the wax may prevent you from going on down your path, okay, and gaining more knowledge by searching beyond just the scrying techniques. This is important too. As we do in paranormal research, we take all our gear readings in consideration as opposed to the one reading of the one piece of equipment. So I like to scry, and I like to do other forms of divination as well. My automatic writings that's my usually number one go-to, but I would try other ways of scrying too, to see if I get similar messages over and over and over again. I used to be haunted by numbers 444, and now I know what it means. Okay, so these numbers, angels speak to you through numbers. That's the first way they start to communicate with you. So when you start seeing certain numbers, especially like waking up at 3:15 every morning, that's my curse. Okay, as we do in paranormal research, okay, we're moving on, next page. All right, end the session may leave you feeling, okay, a little high sense of energy. Okay, so you may be a little jittery, like if you had a couple cups of coffee. That's usually how I feel after I've done it, because I get excited and kind of the adrenaline starts going through me, or an unusual sensation of clarity. The light bulb comes on. So that's kind of cool. If you do, don't worry. That's not uncommon. The whole point of doing this is to find more clarity or direction. And I do want to say at this point right now, after you're done your session, do take a moment and reground yourself. That's very important, because if you ever feel like you're floaty through the day, like your head's just not connected, or you're going around and asking people for answers to your questions because you don't have the clarity that's there, that means you're not grounded. And it's so important to take. It only takes 30 seconds when you get in the habit of doing it. I just think about it and I'm instantly grounded. It's amazing. The roots come out my feet, they come out my butt, and they go down to the center and the core of the earth, and I pull that lava energy and I pull that back up into me, and it happens in 30 seconds because I've been doing this for a long time. It's just like riding a bike. You don't take off with no hands the first time. It takes a little time to practice, but once you get good at it, it's really amazing how fast things start to come. So anyway, so candle wax scrying. Here we go. Okay, gonna jump back over here just to make sure I haven't missed anybody. Sarah. Okay, let's see what's going on here. I love peeling the wax. I love peeling wax too. That's a lot of fun. Like glue. That's why I play with Mod Podge. That's my favorite thing. I don't wear gloves because I sit there for the next Shane for the next 2 hours just peeling. It's like it's like therapy. All right. Okay, so back here we go. All right. So the things you're going to need, you're going to need a scrying bowl. You don't want it to be too deep, okay? You can, usually people like to have a black bowl, but I'm not scrying in the water. I'm actually looking at the wax. So we're going to go with this one tonight. Another thing is you want the bowl to be either glass, ceramic. You want it to be natural, okay? You don't want it to be plastic. So please don't use plastic. Remember, there's a consciousness to water, and when you put water in plastic, you're basically killing the water. That's not good. So even drinking water out of plastic water bottles, I'm not too keen on that either, because that's dead water. If you think about it, it sat around in warehouses for how long before it got to you, and it's been reprocessed and reprocessed. It messes with the consciousness of the water. In India, they actually put water in a copper bowl with one flower in it, usually a lotus, and they leave it overnight. And in the morning, they will drink that water, because the water will take on the consciousness of the flower and the love of the flower, and then they drink that. And it's supposed to have very great, substantial healing powers. Okay, so the next thing you want is blessed water. Okay, this is blessed by Four Winds. Okay, so it's actually not black. This is the first time my water is actually not black. That's my exorcism water is the black one. Okay, so the next thing you want, of course, is a candle of your color of choice. Okay, I'm going to tell you what my question is that we're asking for tonight is, my mother is impeccably healing exceptionally fast, besides me doing Reiki on her. So I'm going to ask who is healing her, because I'm anxious to see if we get like pictures of angels or cherubs, or I just want to see how the wax falls in the water. So that's going to be an interesting question. And again, as I said, you do want a notepad and paper to write down what you're actually seeing. Sometimes when you see the objects in the water, it might not have a certain shape that you quite understand, but you get a feeling with it. That's your intuition. That's that gut. Oh, that's your solar plexus saying, hey, this over here means this. So please go with that. It doesn't have to be a set picture. I will be picking up I have my other camera. I will be putting it down so you can actually look into the water up close. So I promise you're going to see everything tonight. So we're definitely going to take time to do that. Okay. So this is how we go about scrying, guys. Gather the supplies needed: water, scrying dish, candle, matches, paper, and pencil. And puppy. Sorry, he wants to come back and be with his mama. Okay. All right. You can use tap water or fresh water. As I said, preferably not bottled water. I have a well here, probably still from the 1800s. And probably it's got dead people in it, probably. Anyway, so I'm going to be scrying with that water tonight. You can use, if the water is drinkable, then it should be fine for you to candle wax read in it. You can use just about any type of container. In place of a scrying bowl, is better to use a cup, bowl, shallow dish made from natural materials. Ceramic or glass are good choices. You can also use an abalone shell. Everybody knows what an abalone shell is. And avoid using plastics and aluminum containers. Okay. Sit with your thoughts, meditating for a few minutes before you begin will set the mood for quiet reflection. Write your questions down. I never swapped my music over, did I? I got to set the mood, dagnabbit. Setting the mood. Oh, I did set the mood. I did. Okay, we're good. Never mind. I can't hear, so I have everything unmuted over here. Okay, so sit with your thoughts. Write your question down on a piece of paper. So I got my towel here because we're going to wash the bowl before we actually use the bowl. And this is one of the mistakes that most people make, is not to bless your materials. You want the best reading you can possibly get out of this. So why won't you take a moment? Oops, something just shot up in front of my face. Why wouldn't you take a moment to bless your tools. Okay. It's so important because it keeps, you don't want stuff tainting your things, so why not get the best readings you possibly can out of this? So fill your scrying dish with clear water. So the first thing I want to do before we take that step, okay, as I said, I have my holy water here. I'm actually going to spray. Maybe I should go split camera. Let me go split camera for you guys. There we go. We'll go split camera. These are all my babies over here. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm actually cleansing the bowl, okay? With intent too, as I'm wiping it, this is something that I do too, is I picture white light coming out of my hands and going into the surface of the bowl. So what I'm doing is I'm transmuting any negative or stale energy from this bowl and I'm casting it out is what I'm doing, okay? So that's one of the things. So it says fill your bowl with water. I bless my water, but again, I don't want something negative coming through and giving me mixed messages or telling me I'm gonna burn in hell. I'm dropping things, forgive me. I get the dropsies. Okay. So I'm going to actually pour my holy water into the bowl. Okay. And I'm actually going to cheat. This is plastic. I like to have it in glass, but I just want to make sure that the level is high enough that you can guys see it. Oh, and I got black floaties in there. That's actually from the black salt. So if you see that floating around, it's nothing bad. Oop. Okay. So the water should be cool or room temperature, which this is. It's been sitting around for many hours now. Sit at a table with the dish sitting in front of you. Alternately, you can place the dish on the floor if you wish to sit in lotus position during your reading. Light the candle wick. Holding the candle over the dish allows the candle wax to drip into the water. Don't move the bowl. Very important. Don't sit here and try to make little shapes. Okay, so that's important not to do that. Just kind of let the wax, even if it's falling in the same spot, even if it's building, eventually it's going to spread out and it's going to start to form things. So do not move the water if you possibly can. Don't touch the bowl. Let the wax and the water blend naturally. After a few moments, blow out the candle and set it aside. Sit quietly while you peer into the water to review the candle wax drippings. Take care to look at the shapes in the fluid movement of the floating wax particles. Individual clumps of wax may look like animals, objects, numbers, letters. Also look at the drippings as a whole to see if it's like a whole picture. Okay, maybe you get the last dinner in there, who knows. Okay, so look at it as a whole too, not just look at it incrementally in sections and then look at it as a whole. And also too, the biggest thing is close your eyes for a moment and just get the feeling of what you're feeling of that, because there's an emotion behind this. There really is. There's a consciousness to everything, and as soon as I can teach that to everybody, you see light differently, you see life differently, and it's really amazing because it's so funny because I have to tell you this story. My mom woke up from surgery, and when I went to get her yesterday to take her home, I had a bouquet of flowers I brought in for her. Okay. She wasn't on any pain medication because that's how good she was doing. She was just on Tylenol. So it could be left over from the anesthesia, whatever, I don't know. She told me to look at the baby's breath in the flowers because it turned and looked at her. And then she saw light spider webs coming off of the baby's breath and going into the wall. She was actually seeing auras and stuff of the flowers, and she was actually swearing that they were moving. All right. So today is the next day, and then she told me how she saw on the floor of the bathroom, it wasn't moving though, how she was doing pareidolia, where you see things, faces in certain shapes and in geometrical shapes and so forth and so on. She swears she saw Bigfoot. So I think mom was opened a little bit more psychically during this surgery. So that's kind of cool. So I have something else to work with. But it's funny because I've had 5 near-death experiences in this one lifetime. And every time you do, it cracks you open just a little bit more. So that's really cool. So interpreting helps. Numbers can indicate, if you see a number, okay, a number, it can indicate a month. It can indicate a year, okay? It can indicate a time during the day, okay? Letters can represent clues to a person's name or place, so that's kind of cool. A circle could indicate the end of a cycle, such as completing a project. A cluster of dots might indicate a group of people. So if you have a bunch of dots in the water that don't look like anything, but you get the feeling like, oh my gosh, that's a group of people, or that's my soul family over there, okay? So we're going to pay, not just looking at this tonight, we're also going to put our emotion into it and see what we can draw from that, because that really is very insightful. When you open up that heart chakra of yours, you want to get things right, start feeling it through your solar plexus and your heart chakra. I ask myself when I get asked questions, is that a yes or a no? And I'll get a drop feeling if it's a no, like, ooh. And then I'll get this uplifting feeling if it's a yes. It's really crazy, but it's something that I can feel in me. And that's really cool when you can really tap into listening to your body and listening to your higher self speak through you. It's really amazing. So if there's one formation sitting a distance from the rest of the droppings that you put in the bowl, it could represent isolation or possibly going off on a trip somewhere by yourself. So again, it's how you interpret it. And again, there's no right or wrong way of interpreting this. When you first start this, you might, oh, I interpreted that wrong, and you might see it again, and then, or you could see a certain shape this time and get a feeling off, oh, this means this, and then get the same dang shape the next time, but you have a different feeling that comes off of it, okay? So trust that. Please trust your gut intuition. So choose a candle color that contrasts the color of your scrying bowl to better see the wax formation. So for instance, if I had a black bottom bowl, I'd probably want to use a white candle because it'd be easier to see the wax droppings in the water. Okay, but we're not going to have a problem with that tonight, so no worries there. Okay. No, the more you practice, the better you will become in intuiting the answers to your questions. Candle waxing can be used as a sun or moon ritual as well. Set the water-filled dish outdoors under the moonlight overnight to soak in the moon's energies. Remember, there's a consciousness to water. How do I make water, regular water, holy water, intense? What I say to it, what I put into it, changes it to be holy water. So you can actually do the same. Leave it out overnight. Say I want to talk, Bridget's coming up, Invoke is coming up. That's coming up soon. The goddess Bridget, okay? Saint Bridget, okay? When I want to connect to her, she's the Celtic goddess, okay, of the, oh my God, begins with the D, and it is a god. Dagda, thank you. They just said Dagda. So Dagda, so that is her father. So that is the god in Celtic. So anyway, but if I wanted to connect with her and do scrying with her, I might want to leave my bowl out in the moonlight for a couple hours prior to me going to scry into the water. So that's really cool. Sunlight, say I wanted to commune with Helios or Ra or whatever you want to call them. Again, same being, just different names, as I'm Cat, Four Winds, I'm a shaman. I have many names. I wear many hats, as I said. So, but I'm still the same me. Okay. So, and so sun and moon overnight to soak. So that's cool. We're just about done, guys, and we can get to work. Soaking up the lunar energies at sunrise, the early morning, do the reading outdoors in the sunlight. And guess what, guys? That is it for that paper. So let's do this. Okay, so we have blessed the bowl. We have blessed the water in the bowl. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my trusty lighter here. And you know what? The first thing I'm going to do, I conjure thee by dragging power. A circle now around us stands, a boundary line between gods and man. Once around, I trace the path. Twice around, it turns to flame. 3 times around, a wall of fire. Within this realm, I will remain. This ground is sacred and consecrated. As above from crown to heaven, as below it is revealed. Crystal fortress bound around me by my words. This circle is sealed. Okay, so I set up my circle. I'm actually calling in my dragons right now, as well as my angels. So to the east, we have Raphael, okay, and I'm calling in my air dragon, okay. And then to the south, we're going to call in Archangel Michael, and again, I'm going to call in my fire dragon. And then I'm going to call in Gabriel to the west, and I'm going to call in Leviathan, which is my water dragon, okay? And then we're going to call in Uriel to the north, as well as my earth dragon. So all my dragons now are in their cardinal points. All my angels are in their cardinal points. Nothing's going to go wrong. So why not take that extra step? So now we're going to light it with the intent. So I'd want you to write down my question. You want to write down your question so when you get answers, you know what it's pertaining to, maybe months down the road. So who is healing mama? All right, so I'm just curious to see what we get for shapes in the water, okay? So we're going to go ahead and light the flame. And I have dressed this candle back when I was celebrating the abundance in Samhain. So anyway, I'm going to let it gather a little bit of wax. As I burn my camera, I'm going to let it gather a little bit of wax before I start dumping it actually into the water. And just tilt it just a little bit, because if I tilt it too fast, the candle, of course, will go up. Okay. So who is doing all the healing? So as my wax starts to drip, fairies, you can come in and come play with me. So it's kind of weird because it's kind of, I'm going to show you, it's falling in triangular shapes. It's like I'm getting sacred geometry here, guys. I'm getting triangles. I've never seen wax fall into water and create triangles. That's kind of crazy. I've never seen that before. Who is helping to heal my mother? Gonna go for a few more minutes. Oh, I just got the letter A over here, and I get the feeling angels off of that one. So my A just went over here, so that was kind of cool. It's really funny because I'm getting the feeling of like this is lots. This is like the saints and the angels, which of course I knew they are healing her and doing stuff, but it's showing me like a bunch of individual people, or beings, I should say, excuse me. All right. You guys let me know when I should stop. This is just very interesting. They're all triangles. I've seen wax fall in beads, round beads. That's the natural form. And it's like, I'm going to show you what this is doing here, guys. I'm going to pinch it out with my fingers. All right. I'm going to try to pick this up very slowly and bring it up to you. Can you see that? They're like triangles. It's so weird. Odd bodkins. So I wonder if I can bring you guys a little bit closer here. I got my legs in the way here. So we kind of have a chain going on right here. Okay. And now it's because, again, I moved the water and I understand that. I said not to do that, but I wanted to share that with you. But do you see this? These are like little triangles That's so weird. Triangles are pyramids of power to me. This one almost looks like a little kite over here. That's kind of weird. Oh, you can't see it because it's under the. There we go. That's under the candle. That's just odd. Really odd. I've never had that do that before, so that's kind of strange. See if I can stand you guys back up here. Yep. There we go. Okay. So now I'm watching it. It's almost like watching a bowl of alphabet soup. It almost looks like there's writing going on. Do you see this over here? This almost looks like writing. It's like DAD, dad. Do you see that? Dad. It's kind of cool. Her father's passed, so that makes sense. It'd be my grandfather helping to heal her. Or dad could also mean father, metaphorically speaking. And see how it's kind of segmented. I got a group here, I got a group here, and I got a group over here. It almost, this, it's hard to see, but it almost looks like a person bending over and the head's up here. So almost like he's bending over to help somebody. So that's kind of cool going on there. I'm almost seeing this, like I feel like that's like a pillar of light. And again, this is what I should be writing this stuff down. So I have a bent over person. We have the word dad going on in there. And the beauty of this too is if you want to, we can ask another question. You can actually just scoop the wax out if you wanted to. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep adding to it. So I'm going to stir that around. Let that take, there's a Y there. So like I said, there's no right way or wrong way to do this other than preparation's the biggest thing. It's very important, as I said, to go ahead and cleanse your space or set up a sacred circle or an altar, or you want to be safe when you do things, because things know when you're doing psychic stuff, and it opens you up for them to say, hey, I see the light. Oh, here I come. And even if it's the dark things, they see the light. They want to shut that light down. So why not take the extra moment and bless and consecrate your things? And that way, negative stuff's not going to come in and bother you. So same with doing a Ouija board too. All you have to do before you get on a Ouija board is, I only wish to speak to beings of love and light on this board. Nothing else may come through because you're not allowed in my house. What do people do? Is there anybody here who wants to talk to me? You just invited every oogie boogie out there into your house. And this is where most of my problems from clients come from. 95% of my cases come from using a Ouija board, believe it or not. People use them incorrectly, and they do it willy-nilly, thinking it's a joke or it's a party favor to do. So that's just something, food for thought. But again, just as it is in paranormal, using all your different equipment, your K2 meter, you're still opening up forms of communication when you're sitting here just doing simple EVPs. You're opening up a gateway for something to come in and commune with you. You're inviting it in. So again, the Ouija board's not the only thing that brings them in. So again, with intent, this is why it's so important. I keep throwing that word intent at you to the point that you guys are probably, shut up. So I'm just trying to pass the time here. I'm trying to get it like a glob of wax going on here. So you kind of want to keep it towards the center of the bowl. You don't want to sit here and just kind of, oh, that almost looks, I'm going to drop a couple drops there to finish that picture. You just kind of just willy-nilly it, let it go. Just go with the flow of it and just see what you get. So again, here's the image. Cool. And here. So what else we got going on here? So this is my big blob over here. Now, the way I'm looking at this, so you can take it in little aspects of it. Sometimes, believe it or not, I like to look away, pull yourself further away from it, because when you're up close too, sometimes you're not, like I said, seeing the whole picture, but pulling yourself away, like I'm looking at it on the screen over here, and I can actually, you can see more shapes and kind of see letters forming and so forth. Again, a circle, okay? I know I made this one here, but a circle, which you see actually here, can represent a completion of a project, something coming to an end. We also have spiritual deaths that people aren't aware of. Night of the dark night of the soul, that hell that we go through. We have cycles that we go through, just as we have cycles. Everything runs through cycles. Okay, you know this. Okay, you see it in nature with the changing of the leaves and the coming of the seasons. Everything has a cycle to it, and we do have spiritual deaths. Sometimes you can be really open, and sometimes you just shut right down and you're closed up because there's a block or something. Again, doing that shadow work is so important to clear away those blockages and everything else too. So this is I almost get an animal. It's so hard to see. I can almost get an animal. It has like little legs coming off of it. It almost feels like a sheep. Yeah, almost looks like a little sheep. Oh, it's the little it's the mattress dude. Okay. So it's kind of cool because you can kind of play with it afterwards. What does this one look like? See if I can hold it without breaking it. It's kind of bright. Let me dim it down a little bit. There we go. What does that look like? It almost looks like a person with eyeballs. Ah, good catch. Cat-like reflexes. So, that kind of looks like a bear. This kind of looks like his nose over here, and his ears are over here, and almost, hey, boo boo. So, anyway, so like I said, there's no right way or wrong way. Let me turn my camera back on. There's no right way or wrong way to do this. It's just fun to do. It's just something to do when you just want a little more clarity to a question. Again, grounding and centering yourself, which I didn't do at the beginning. I actually did it before. I always do it before I start my class. So I kind of skipped over that. But again, just taking that moment, going into the Gasso position again in Reiki with your thumb. Your thumb is pointing to your heart chakra. Those 3 deep breaths, and it's so important, those 3 cleansing breaths. If you can get in the habit of doing this too before you react to something that's making you mad or making you sad or something, those 3 deep breaths, they really do take you down notches as far as your emotions, but it takes you up really high in frequency because you go from, and it just, every breath you can feel it go up. Believe it or not, saying the Our Father prayer, when you say it, hits every chakra in your body. Our Father who art in heaven, and then when you get down to and deliver us from evil, which is the root chakra, which would be the lowest chakra. Yes. So anyway, so that's kind of interesting. Just the Lord's Prayer has saved me many times when I was under demonic attack 30 years ago. So it's quite powerful. And again, this is non-religion. It's just something I know, something that's been driven into me as a child being Catholic. There's powers if you believe. And again, I can say rainbow. And if I believe it has power, I just gave it power through intent. Okay. So anytime you need a little more power in your life or you need more positivity, put it into something. I do it all the time. This crystal that I held up earlier, this has Christ consciousness into it. I've actually channeled myself and pulled the energy of Christ into me, and I've pushed it into this crystal, and I have actually programmed this crystal with Christ consciousness. When I'm gathering negative things in my house, this puppy comes out. I also use it after I've cleansed the energy of it. I also use it on healing people through Reiki. I actually take tuning forks, put the crystal on the person, and put the tuning fork on the crystal, and it will vibrate, not just the tuning fork, but it will vibrate the energy of the crystal in through the heart chakra into the person. So that's really cool. So there's again, intent is so important. But again, this is something that if you haven't tried it, do try it. It's very simple. It's easy cleanup. You just dump it out and wipe out the dang bowl when you're done and put your stuff back. Remember what I said to you about a little tip on that would be candle magic 102, I guess, instead of 101, is putting your pins in your candles so you don't end up wasting all your candles when you're doing rituals or spells or whatever. So that's a really cool tip. So I'm just going to jump back over and just say, looks like a Funko Pop. Screenshot, surprise face, bird. Let's see. So anyway, next week's class is going to be on dowsing rods. I am going to teach you how to use the dowsing rods and how to find things with the dowsing rods. I've found money that I've lost with the dowsing rods. I found other things as well. I also use it to actually find the center point to my sacred circles when I am outside. I find where the ley lines, which the energy, that crystal grid comes together, and I find that point where they intersect, and that is the center of my circle, because there is power coming out of there. Why not add it to my circle? So there's power in everything you do, and when you take a moment and you ground and center yourself, and instead of reacting and taking that moment and coming out of autopilot, your world's really going to start opening up to you. You're going to have more synchronicity. You're going to start getting more messages. You're going to start understanding and getting more clarity. And you're not going to have to go around and say, oh, what should I do about my job? What should I do about my boyfriend? What should I do about this? You're going to have the answers. They will come to you. The best time to ask a question is right before you go to sleep. Lord, God, whatever you want to call it, universe, okay? I have a problem and I'm releasing it to you, because I'm not going to waste my energy on it any longer, because I can't do anything about it today. So I'm releasing it to you, and you'll be amazed. You will wake up in the morning and you will have some funky dream that night, or you'll have the answer. The best time to study for a test, believe it or not, is right before you go to bed, because your mind will retain that information and it makes sense of it. And then in the morning when you wake up, you get all the answers popping out of your head. So again, the angels say we have it backwards. When we are asleep, we are actually awake. When we are awake, we are actually asleep in that autopilot state. So just remember that. So try to be more aware, again, grounding and centering, breathing deeply. And I can't thank you guys enough for coming here tonight and joining us, and in all your love and prayers for my mom and everything. Everything turned out fantastic. And I can't, that collective consciousness is power to it. When you have enough people concentrating and doing one thing together, you move mountains, and you guys move mountains. And I thank you for that. So next week, as I said, divining rods, I'm going to show you how to find water in my kitchen. So we're going to have fun there. And let's see, God, I don't even know what day it is. Today is Thursday. So tomorrow, Friday night, is Sarah Sinister. I also have a really cool Valentine's Day coming up. And Sarah's going to be carrying that over, because it's a really gruesome story that I'm going to be sharing with you. And Sarah's going to be channeling, and we're going to be doing something with that on her channel after I air my class. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Saint Valentine. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you all, Julie and Penny and Chris and Natalie and Adam and Jasmine, my mods, and Sarah Sinister. And let's see, who else am I forgetting here? Carrie is here. Thank you, Diamond. And everybody else. I hope you got a little insight in here. And again, don't be afraid to do things. Okay. Again, set up your sacred circle, set up your sacred spot, or wherever you feel comfortable. Smudge the room with sage. You can't go wrong by doing that. Spraying holy water around, or an aura spray. I'm going to be teaching classes too on how to make an aura spray for yourselves as well. So thank you all for joining me tonight, and God bless. And I can't thank you all enough for coming. So remember, guys, keep shining that light. Shine, shine, shine.